Hello there. How are you doing? Welcome back to Jason's Isolation Station here on our virtual village. It's a wonderful thing how we can do this and we can connect. I do hope you've been doing well. I guarantee you've been a bit like me and trying to work out what day is it. Do you find that too? I'm always asking, what day is it today? I don't know if it's Monday or Sunday. It just all feels like the weekend, or it just all feels the same. But today, we know what day it is. It's Friday, and not just any Friday. It's Good Friday. Happy Easter, Good Friday to you. That feels like just another day. Oh, I know what I can do to make it sound more like a Good Friday. I'll give you a little bit of this. Listen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition for Easter of Jason's Isolation Station. Must put my teeth back in. Anyway, I remember the Guns didn't used to go to church a lot. Well, that's because I used to misbehave quite a bit. But when we did, it was generally at Easter, always at Christmas for the carols. And I think about the songs that we used to sing at church that I used to love. A lot of the songs and hymns today I don't know. I can't work out. But the classics, I used to love. Excuse me, this takes me back. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, that takes me back to the good old days of church. Oh, I loved it. I think the other reason I love that song is I love Scots. I love Scotland. I love the Scottish accent. It's my absolute favourite. And that's because the Guns are from Scotland. Aye. We've even got a clan. We've got a clan. It's the Scottish clan. And we have a motto. And the motto is Aux Pax Aux Bellum, which means peace or war. What a stupid thing to say. I don't know what that means. Peace or war. So I guess what that means is if you're friends with the Guns, we're even having a drink and getting along and having a sing-song, or we're fighting battles. I don't know. Anyway, as soon as the bagpipes start playing, do you love the bagpipes? I love the bagpipes. I'd like to learn the bagpipes one day. I don't think my family or my neighbours want me to learn the bagpipes one day. The other thing I remember about going to church, whenever I hear this, I think about our minister. He was an old minister, and whenever he would sing, he would have this vibrato in his voice, which always sounded like an old car trying to start on a cold day. Like he'd sing this. I remember him singing this song. How great thou art, how great thou art. He needed to get a new battery. He did. Oh, they were good old days. Well, look, hopefully you're feeling a bit Eastery after that. I need to remind you of something very important. hello@metlifecare.co.nz. That's the email. You can do all sorts of things right there, including contact me, and I'd love to hear from you. You can share, some poems, your favourite story, maybe a photograph of you and your friends there, maybe a knitting pattern, maybe a recipe. Whatever you like, I'd love to know what you're doing to get through these long days. And I'd like to say hello to Lenora in Kapiti Village. Hello, Lenora. Lenora, clever. Puts me to shame. Lenora's a poet. don't you know it? And she sent a couple of poems through, and I want to read one to you right now. Okay? I just think this is gorgeous. And it sums up a lot of things about what we're doing right now. How we're, trying to find things to make time go, and sometimes we're taking up old things that we haven't done in a while. Now this one, I've put it on my phone so I can read it to you, is called Filling in the Hours. My loved but lonely piano has waited for this time. It stood in the corner of the lounge for many years. It was given to me when I was 21, now well past its prime. Me too. Once again, it's hearing songs played upon its keys. The ukulele became the favourite instrument of choice, so much easier to move around. The piano has lost some of its voice. The tuning man could not help its sound. Now, however, old sheets of music cover its face. Price of 2 shillings, 6pence and 40 cents. They're expensive to replace. The Norwegian cradle song, Remembrance and Nikau Waltz. Old Reader's Digest music books are there by default. My fingers are stiff. To stretch the octaves is a challenge. Many wrong notes seep in there and chords I try to manage. With long hours to fill in each and every day, piano practice will fill a gap and help me in every way. Lenora, you're so clever. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We've got some more things to share today from there again being this. Remember, please, hello@metlifecare.co.nz. What you could send there is your answer to our question of the day. I love these because through questions come great stories, and I know you've got some great stories. Today's question is a goodie. It'll get you thinking. Okay, today's question, what was your first big trip? Oh, now just think about that. Now, big trip could mean anything, couldn't it? It could mean your first big school trip, your first trip across the road, down round the corner. Maybe it was an overseas trip. Your first big trip. Think about it. Would love you to share it with us so I can share it with everybody else. I'll share my first big trip. My first big trip ever was to a country called Honduras. Honduras is it's like Central America, It's like, there's like Honduras, there's like Nicaragua, it's in Central America, and they speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, and I was going there to do some work for World Vision, who'd been sponsoring some children there, so I couldn't wait to get there. When I got there, though, there was a bit of trouble because there were soldiers there with big guns, and they were only about 14, and they pointed their guns at me and said, go, go, go. They didn't speak English. They spoke sort of broken Spanish. They were saying to me, I was like, what? Oh, and then I said, me no hablo español. That's all I knew. Me no speak Spanish. They said, pasaporte. So I gave them a passport. They were like, money. I said, sorry? They went, money. And I thought, okay, I mean, you have guns. You're only 14. So I gave them $100. No. 200? No. $500 they took from me. And then they said, sit. So I sat down. I was there for 2-3 hours in the airport. Then I saw this big plane arrive. I said, excuse me, where's that plane going to? Where is that plane going to? They said, America. I went, I'm on it. So that was my trip to Honduras. I got scared. I went back to Los Angeles. I was there for 3 hours, and it cost me $500. I'm not in a hurry to get back to Honduras. I'm not going to lie. That was my first big trip. Tell us about your first big trip. Wherever you went, overseas, somewhere in New Zealand, would love to hear. Actually, speaking of overseas, I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle at home at the moment. It's on our dining It's on our dining room table, so we can't eat there. And it's a map of the world. Do you like jigsaw puzzles? I bet you're good at them. I bet you're better at jigsaw puzzles than me. Let me show you how I'm doing with the jigsaw puzzle. As you can see, it's quite a way from completion. Although, hang on a minute, it's not entirely true. I mean, over here I'm getting the edges bits over there. And here you can see I've got, some of the lettering. And over here I've kind of got every country in the world broken up into 1,000 pieces. So, yeah. Also, none of this is made any easier by the fact that my eyes aren't what they used to be. So, I mean, I'm looking at these small pieces, but the picture on the front is too small. Now, it's not just me, is it? Tell me that is a small, isn't it? That writing's very small. How's a man like me supposed to read all that? And do you know the worst thing about it is? We all know, don't we, that all the pieces aren't here. 2 or 3, or maybe just one piece isn't here. It's down the side of the couch, or it's on the floor somewhere. And the other reality is, there could be a piece that's gone to him. Alfie, have you eaten a piece of the puzzle? Oh, look, he has, hasn't he? Those are guilty eyes. And of course, the funniest thing is, here's me doing a jigsaw puzzle of the world. And even if it took me like months and months and months and months and months to complete this puzzle, there's probably at that time only one country in the world I could actually visit, and it's a little country, I think you may have heard of it, called New Zealand. Kia ora. Yes, I think it's only a matter of time before I am asked to pack up that jigsaw puzzle and put it back in the attic, because it's not really worth taking over the whole table when it's not moving forward. And I do miss the family dinner time at the table. So if you're doing a jigsaw, and I know many of you are, good luck with it. It can't be going any worse than mine, all right? And just be careful you don't lose any pieces. Nothing worse than getting right to the end and having that one little piece. Anyway, do you know what it's time for? It's time for some good news. And there's been lots of good news going on. We just don't hear about the good news. Because do you think the same as I do? A lot of the news shows, they like to tell us the bad news, don't they? Well, I've got some good news. Wait, in fact, I've prepared this. Thank you. Yes, some good news from Jason. I think this is great news. It was in the news today, tucked away there, that of all the countries in the world that are going through this terrible virus, New Zealand, top 3. Wow! I don't even know who the other 2 are. I don't care. Top 3. That's how well we are doing. I was so proud when I heard this. Just amazing. Isn't it great to be living way down here, this part of the world, away from the rest of the world? I'm just saying, I love living in New Zealand. We're so lucky, aren't we? We should be so grateful to be New Zealanders. And I tell you what, I heard about some wonderful New Zealanders today from Wellington. Okay, it's this beautiful family, and they're in lockdown like all of us, but they've been doing something with their time. They've come up with a bit of a song and a dance, a bit of a boogie, and they've filmed it, and they've put it on the internet. It's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook, and it's going crazy. It's had over 6 million people watch the video. Here's a tiny bit for you right here.
Just my mother and my father and my sister and me and little Maisie too. So for the family sanity, can't you see what we must do? Hey Graham,
Yeah?
do you wanna move?
I wanna move.
Hey Joe,
Yo,
can you feel the groove?
I feel the groove, yeah.
Hey Lonnie,
What's up?
do you wanna take a chance?
Oh, yeah.
The family's together, so let's just dance. Lock the door, hit the floor. It's the family lockdown boogie. Incarcerated, blood-related, family lockdown boogie. Dancing queen in quarantine, family lockdown boogie.
That's the very clever Jack Buchanan and his sister and his gorgeous parents keeping themselves busy inside during these lockdown days with the family lockdown boogie. Now, there's something I want to tell you that I'm doing that I think is quite a good idea. And it's getting me through these days. Because here's the thing, right? Some of these days are really, really good and easy, and some days are a little longer and a little harder. Some days we just feel a bit blah, and that's okay. We can't be upbeat every single day. Here's something I've started doing. I've started writing a Attitude of Gratitude book, and every morning I write in it, and every night I go over what I've written. A couple of things that I can be really grateful for. Like, at the moment, I'm really grateful that I'm getting time with my son, Louis, and my beautiful wife, Janine. You know, we're really busy people. We don't see a lot of each other. Now we're seeing a lot of each other. I'm really grateful for my health. I had a heart attack a couple of years ago, and it was a really scary time. So right now, I'm really grateful for my health. And can I say something else I'm really grateful for? It's for having this time with you. I really appreciate this. I don't take this for granted. I know you're really busy. You've got a lot of things you could be doing. So if you're watching this, and you could be the only person who is, I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much. And could I advise you to maybe try this yourself? Just write something down in a little book or a notepad that you're grateful about. It feels really, really good. And when you write it down, read it back to yourself and really take in what that feels like. It feels amazing. Now, here's something else we can be grateful for as a country. In fact, it's more good news. Wait for it. It is more good news for New Zealand. I mean, Baldwin Street in Dunedin. Have you been there? Have you been up there? The steepest street in the world. That's what it's been known as for years. It's steep. Look, it's a shocker. But then, shock of all shocks, it lost the title. No longer was it the world's steepest street. It went to this little street here in Wales. It's a place in Wales I can't say. Wait, I've got the computer to say it for me. Now listen carefully.
Ffordd Penllych.
I'll go again. Listen.
Ffordd Penllych.
Ffordd Penllych. I'll get the computer to say it again. Wait. Wait.
Ffordd Penllych.
There. Anyway, that's how it's supposed to be said, and they won it. So they had the title of the world's steepest street. Well, wait, here it comes again. I've got to get this out because it is good news. We've got it back. We've got the title back as World's Steepest Street, Baldwin Street in Dunedin. They've remeasured it and everything, which is just wonderful. Because my favourite memory of Baldwin Street in Dunedin is the Great Jaffa Race, where they take all these Jaffas, thousands of Jaffas, to the top of Baldwin Street and let them go. And it's a race to see whose Jaffa will get to the bottom first. I imagine the residents of Baldwin Street spend the rest of the year finding Jaffas in their gardens. I'm sure they do. Now, hey, please, I've been saying this a lot, do not forget this. hello@metlifecare.co.nz. I want to hear from you so I can share you and your ideas and your stories and your poems or your pictures or your photos with everybody here on my isolation station on our virtual village. In fact, a special shout out to Peter. Now, Peter lives at Greenwich Gardens. Peter, hello, sir. Clever Peter. The artist he is. In fact, he's known as the Banksy of Greenwich because before lockdown, when he was allowed to get out and cause a bit of trouble, what he'd do is he'd take his drawings and he'd put them on the walls around the village. He's a clever man. He's been doing a bit of art, a few cartoons every single day. Here's one that I just love from Peter, or as they call him, P. Ha ha ha, love it. Keep inside your bubble, which of course means if you're in one bubble and your cleaning appliances are in the other bubble, I guess you just won't be able to touch them for a while. What a shame. Thank you, Peter, for your wonderful drawing. Truly awesome. Oh, and thank you to the wonderful staff for passing the drawings on as well. You know what? We can never say enough about our caregivers and our carers and our staff, can we? How good are they? They do so much. In fact, a tiny ditty song thing. To all the wonderful staff out there, we just want to say, thank you for being a friend. Can't wait till lockdown has come to an end. I'll come on by and I'll bring you a raspberry bun. Doesn't seem much, I know, but trust me, it's my favourite thing in the world. Not just any raspberry buns, the raspberry buns with the icing, not the coconut, just the icing, and the bit of jam in the middle. I love them so much. I know where the best ones are. I'll gather them up and I'll bring them to the staff. Our way of saying thank you. We could have a wee morning tea, couldn't we? Thank you so much. Yes, they can help you get your photos and your pictures to me or anything you want to share with me, like Peter. Or, of course, you can just go to that email address, hello@metlifecare.co.nz. Maybe you want to share a bit of knitting you're doing. My mother's been doing a bit of knitting. I promised I'd show it. Check out the booties she's been making. Hello. If you've got knitting you want to share, I'd love to see it. Please have a wonderful Easter. I know it doesn't feel like Easter, does it? But it is. And so have a bit of chocolate if there's some around. You know, there'll be some around somewhere. And here's something I want you to think about. Maybe this Easter you're going to have a wee drink, a wee tipple, a wee drink to celebrate being here, being grateful for being here. I'm going to. We're doing all right. Well, wait. 101 years ago today, let's go back to when days were a little bit different, weren't they? 101 years ago, New Zealand on this day had a referendum, a vote. We'd pretty much decided that we didn't want alcohol sold or drunk in New Zealand. So 101 years ago, we voted, and guess what? We decided, the vote said, no alcohol in New Zealand. Can you believe it? But wait, then someone said, we have got some very wonderful brave soldiers overseas. We should let them vote. There they are fighting for Queen and country. And guess what? They voted slightly differently. They said, when we come back home, we want to be able to have a drink or two. So when we took their votes into account and put all the votes together, New Zealand voted that, yes, we will keep alcohol and be able to have a couple of quiet drinks on the side. So because of that, this Easter, you can have a little drink. Cheers to you. All right? Big love from my family to you. And, let's keep the Easter feel. Thank you so much for joining me, Jason, in my isolation station for this which has been our Easter special celebration here in the house of Jason. You're so patient putting up with me. Listen, it's time to finish with our little song. I've just got to get it set up here. We're good to go. Are we good to go? Yes, we're good to go. Now remember, if you do know, sing along with Jace, would you please? Here it comes. I do love this. I love this time with you too. Here we go. Happy Easter. Happy trails to you until we meet again next week. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you, my friend, till we meet again. So here's the best part of my day, sharing this day with you. Have a wonderful Easter. I'll catch you on Monday. Until then, big love. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Love you lots. Take care.